good evening, everyone. I'm student meteorologist Michael Anand.
And I'm meteorologist Jay Carson. Despite my apparel today, this is not Virginia Tech weather. This is still FSU weather. We are here on Wednesday, January 16th, and welcoming back our good old friend, the sun, finally, for the first time in a couple of days.
I know. I finally got to see the sun in the afternoon. Took advantage of it with some time out towards the driving range.
Yeah, and you know, we had a couple of days where those clouds just did not go away, and it really kept those temperatures down for us. We only reached a high of 48 degrees yesterday, which was 10 degrees lower than many expectations. Those finally thinned out. We got a nice little sunset yesterday, and once we got through another little shortwave trough sort of scenario in the morning, things were just beautiful all afternoon.
It was amazing out there. Now, changes are going to come as we head towards the weekend. It will get warmer. That's a good thing.
Yeah, the temperature roller coaster going to be a really big theme for us here. The next few days, we're going to see those slowly on the climb up, and then the big front is going to be on its way through Sunday at some point. And then when that happens, temps are going to be some of our coolest of the entire season.
Yeah, indeed. Sunday's going to be a very wacky day in terms of our temperatures, where it might feel better in the morning than the afternoon.
Exactly. We've had a lot of those really this fall, those days where the temperatures kind of fall through the afternoon and kind of, I guess, mess around with our sense of reality in a sense. Well, for now, we're gonna we'll break down that full forecast for you later on in the show. For now, we're gonna send things out to the wall where Sloan Haynes is standing by with a quick overview.
Thanks, guys. Currently, you can see we do have a beautiful clear sky behind me. The sun is setting. It's a much different story than what we saw this morning. We had that cloud cover, but compared to what's happening out west right now, the cloud cover we had this morning is nothing. We do have this high pressure system still sitting over the southeast, and these winds are driving it south into the Gulf. So we do have these northerly winds coming into effect here. But for tonight in Tallahassee, you can expect temperatures to be at 34, but we're going to have a clear and starry night. So if you're going to be outside, make sure you keep that jacket on you, but it's a beautiful night to go out and do something, or maybe just take a stroll after dinner. For tomorrow, expect that high to be 66 degrees. As usual this time of year, we're going to have that chilly start. So again, bundle up, 66. It'll warm off, warm down. Oh my gosh. And then for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we see these temperatures increasing into the weekend as well as these rain chances. But taking a look at the headlines, we are warming up through the week as we just saw. These rain chances are coming back into the picture overnight. Between Saturday and Sunday, we do these high rain chance about 100%, so that's going to be something to watch as that storm that we just saw out west make its way over to us. And we have this winter storm to hit the East Coast, so expect more snow to fall in those regions, hopefully some school cancellations for the kids up north. But now I'm going to pass things off to Jake to take a look at Tallahassee.
All right, thanks, Sloan. We're going to go into a little bit more detail and show you guys just how fantastic of a day it was, first of all, for us here in the Big Bend. We're sitting at 57 degrees right now. The sun has just set just past 6 o'clock here in Tallahassee. Mostly clear skies, and that's really been the case for the last 6 hours or so. As we were sitting on the first desk, a bit of a pesky little deck of low clouds was in our area, but eventually cleared out and set up for a fantastic afternoon. Very calm winds as well, less of a breeze than we've seen the last couple of days, making things feel a bit more comfortable in addition to that modest increase in temperatures that we've seen from where we were yesterday afternoon around this time. And across the region, the 50s are a very common theme here. Thomasville sitting at 50 degrees being the cool spot on the map. Everywhere else in the lower to mid 50s for the most part, and those will continue to drop with those clear skies and calm conditions otherwise for the next few hours or so. Again, those temperatures expected to dip into the 30s. We'll break that down in some more detail later on. For now, that national picture, we're watching for this front that's going to be off to our north. Not really a big issue for us in Tallahassee right about now. The big thing for us is this high pressure in the southeast right now, influencing some very light northerly breeze, and we've seen that more the last 2 days or so. Things have calmed down a little bit as that high has settled a little bit more deeply into our region, and really the clear skies are the big indication that that is a big factor for us, and will continue to be so for the next day or so before things will change a little bit this weekend. And with that in mind, not really anything in terms of cloud coverage or rainfall in the area, just a fantastic afternoon for those of us out there with those slightly higher temperatures as well. Again, not in the 40s like we were yesterday. As far as tonight's concerned, temps are going to be on the plummet once again. 30 34 degrees for that nighttime low. Not quite as cool as what we saw in the overnight hours last night, but again, a clear and starry night is ahead. Very light winds at the most out of the north at about 5 miles per hour, so a fantastic night to get outside. A little bit earlier in the night, of course, otherwise bundle up if you're going to be going out anytime really after, say, 7 or 8 p.m. out there. As far as tomorrow's concerned, 66 degrees, so another few degrees warmer than what we saw here today, but expect to have the day be off to a bit of a chilly start. Sunny skies will persist. Winds are going to turn a little bit and be out of the south at about 5 miles per hour. Nice and light there, and generally out of the east by the waters here. Still fairly light at 5 to 10 knots, so the waters will be fairly smooth here with a temperature of 63 degrees along the Big Bend coastline. Really just a very nice day for this time of year to get out on the boat. Right around our average time, or our average high temperature for this time of year here, with the seas just about a foot or less. Beyond that, though, the temperature is going to be really be up and down here for the next 7 days or so. Again, tomorrow 66 degrees under sunny skies. Friday looking for these rain chances to slowly creep back into the picture, although that's not really our big focus point here. Saturday is really where we're looking for the rain chances to increase at 60%. Temperatures climbing into the lower 70s. You see those nighttime lows really on the rise as well. Well above average, which is 39 degrees for this time of year. That front should be moving through the nighttime hours on Saturday. Could be expecting Sunday to have one of those days where the temperature drops as the day goes along, and then some of our coldest air of the winter going to be settling into our region with the possible next freeze coming Sunday night. Now to zoom out to the southeast, we have Michael.
Yeah, thanks, Jake. And it was a very nice day across a lot of the southeast. As we see the current conditions right now across the southeast, you'll see that a lot of us were warmer today. 58 degrees right now in Shreveport under cloudy skies, 57 here in Tallahassee under clear skies, and mostly clear conditions in Atlanta at 49 degrees, and partly cloudy skies in Nashville at 45 degrees. Now, the air is still dry. Jake mentioned we did have high pressure over the northern Louisiana, and that northerly wind due to the clockwise flow around that high pressure, leading to these lower dew points still. So 30 in Atlanta, 37 in Tallahassee, and 35 in Nashville and Montgomery. So it feels very dry out there, but it feels very comfortable outside. That's because of these northerly winds, again, due to high pressure. You see in Shreveport, since you're on the western side of that high pressure, southerly winds at 13 miles per hour, but calm conditions in Montgomery and Tallahassee with northerly winds at 0 miles per hour, and northerly winds as well in Atlanta. All due to that high pressure still dominating the southeast. We do have this cold front right now in the middle part of the country that will give some showers to the interior sections of the southeast going into tomorrow and into Friday. But the main storm system is in the west. This is going to be a big one for the entire lower 48, with some major snow up towards the north and some major rain down towards the south for a lot of the southeast. But for now, high pressure is still dominating, and that's going to be the story for the near term until we get those changes due to that weak cold front starting tomorrow. Now, we do have these river flood warnings, and that is due to the very saturated ground we still have across a lot of the southeast. It was a very wet December, a lot of places receiving up to a foot of rain for just the month of December. But it's good we had that dry stretch to alleviate some of that river flood warnings. We do have a frost advisory out towards the lower Swanee Valley, as temperatures will get down towards the freezing mark, so have to deal with some patchy frost over there. But as we head into Friday, that storm system you saw in California will start to get out into the plains, and so we do have a marginal risk of some severe weather out towards Dallas and down towards Austin. So one or two of the storms that do form on Friday might become severe. Not a major threat, but it's a threat nevertheless, so just be aware of that. But going into tomorrow, you see that weak cold front that was out towards St. Louis and Kansas City will cause some showers to flare up in central Mississippi, northern Alabama, Tennessee, going into northern Georgia. We will get some showers here in Tallahassee, very, very light showers for early Friday morning, but the big system will arrive as we head into the weekend. Now, for tonight's forecast here in Tallahassee and for the rest of the southeast, 45 degrees in Jackson with those showers, 34, a very chilly night in Tallahassee, 35 in Atlanta. And then for tomorrow, it will be a little bit chilly out towards the southern Appalachians, but very warm conditions here in Tallahassee at around 66 degrees and 73 out towards Orlando with partly cloudy skies. But for now, I'm going to send out towards the desk with Jake, and we're going to talk about continue our topic of Severe Weather Awareness Week with lightning.
Yeah, so actually Monday was lightning. I had the privilege of being able to chat about that with you guys a couple of days ago. Today's topic in Severe Weather Awareness Week, thunderstorms and tornadoes. So the main thing you think of when you think of severe weather.
Yeah, so we did have, a lot of the schools here in the state of Florida had their tornado drills earlier today just to prepare the the sirens, basically.
Yeah, and it really is not a bad time for that at all. You may think to yourself, well, most of the tornadoes across the U.S. and in the state of Florida tend to happen in the spring and summer months, but that is not an exclusive event to those seasons. Recall a couple of years ago, of course, the infamous January 22nd outbreak, which dropped a couple of EF3 tornadoes not too far from here.
Yeah, we're approaching the 2-year anniversary of that outbreak. But out of the 100,000 thunderstorms that form in the U.S. this year, only 10% are classified as severe.
Right, so yeah, the thresholds for that, you need 58-mile-per-hour winds as well as quarter-sized hail, at least in 1 inch in diameter. Those are the specific thresholds. Of course, a thunderstorm is also considered severe if it does indeed drop a tornado.
Yeah, and so remember when we always say go indoors when you hear thunder roar. And also to prepare, don't forget your no weather radio. Usually those are very cheap and you can find them at a local hardware store.
Yeah, and that's also a very important thing here because severe weather is not exclusive to the daytime hours either. A lot of our worst outbreaks can happen overnight.
Yeah, and the point about that is to actually have a plan before it starts so you can prepare yourself if in case the sirens do go off in the middle of the night.
Yeah, thankfully no severe weather for the next couple of days. Sloan's out of the wall to give us a little bit more of what we can expect.
Yep, no severe weather here in Tallahassee. The sun is still setting behind me. A beautiful sunset, clear conditions that we had this morning. Right now it's about 57 degrees. Clear conditions. That's expected to hold through the night and tomorrow morning. And we have very calm winds right now. For the rest of the Big Bend region, we do see the temperatures are mostly sticking in the 50s. Tallahassee is the warmest at 57, with Valdosta at 51 up there being one of the coolest with Thomasville. But clear skies all around. And looking at our dew points, we do see that we are very dry. That high pressure's done a great job of pushing all that moisture out and keeping us fairly dry. So you notice we're not humid outside. That's very nice for us compared to what we see in the summer here. And we do see these mostly northerly winds, which is from that high pressure, beginning to move down into our region and into the Gulf over the next few days. Satellite, again, nothing's really happening for us. Clear conditions all around, maybe a pop-up shower here or there. You're seeing some green, but nothing out of the ordinary. Beautiful day again today to be outside, and especially into the evening and tomorrow. This is the time to take advantage of going outside until these showers and clouds start to roll through our area by Friday. So Friday's gonna be that good day to have that umbrella on hand and to make sure you check the weather before you leave your apartment or your dorm, because it's Florida. We don't really know what to expect throughout the day. Tonight in Tallahassee, 34 degrees, clear and starry night. So go out and do something. I said earlier, go out on a stroll after dinner. Take advantage of taking your dog on a long walk tonight. And we still have these northerly winds, which are bringing the high pressure south, opening us up for this rain to come through. Thursday, 66 degrees, chilly start. That's typical this time of year. And taking a look at the marine forecast, 63 degrees, but they're going to have that chilly start too. So if you're going to be going down to the shore this weekend, make sure to bundle up a bit and be prepared for the weather, especially with the rain coming to the forecast over the next few days. But a light chop in the bays are smooth, so favorable conditions to be out on the boat and going fishing. Thursday, waking up chilly, 36 degrees. But we're immediately heating up to about 60 degrees at noon. The sun is in the picture all day tomorrow, and have mild conditions throughout the rest of the evening. As Jake mentioned earlier, the temperatures are going up and down. They're increasing into the weekend with those rain chances. Saturday night, we do see that 100% chance of rain and storms. Going into next week, we see the temperatures are decreasing again into the 50s, lows in the 30s, but heating right back up on Wednesday when the rain returns. For now, Jake's going to look at what's happening around the nation.
Thank you, Sloan, and let me catch my breath real quick because there's a lot going on. We got 3.5 minutes to chit-chat about a bunch of different weather systems making their presence felt across the entirety of the country. We'll look at the national map to kind of set the stage for you guys here. 32 degrees in Kansas City right now. They're getting some snowfall in parts of the central and northern plains right now. But the big area we're going to be focusing on is often California, one of these little atmospheric river events, if that's a term you've ever heard of. Otherwise, I'd recommend checking it out. It is a pretty cool meteorological phenomenon, and unfortunately, it is dropping quite a bit of precip in a big chunk of the state of California. And you see that moisture along the coast as well, with dew points in the 50s in places like San Francisco and Los Angeles, as well as a bit of an area of moisture in parts of Texas with dew points also climbing into the 50s. Otherwise, pretty dry air for a good chunk of the country, including the Great Lakes, with Detroit at only 11 degrees and Minneapolis at a very paltry 5-degree dew point right about now. We see some snowfall in parts of the plains, Nebraska and South Dakota in particular here. We were talking about that front kind of draped across the middle part of the country earlier. Not too much more except for just some cloud cover for most of that area, but we're going to zoom in into the northeast here and start to check that out a little bit. So we see this low centered over parts of Canada right about now, with some snowfall moving in through upstate New York as well as other portions of New England, including Maine here. And we see plenty of moisture at the upper levels of the atmosphere as well. Not really any sorts of these black and brown colors like we're seeing, like we're going to see down in portions of the southeast, like right here in Tallahassee. And setting up for that, we have a couple of advisories out there right now. Wind chill advisory, some very cold air near this front, as well as some higher winds kicking up, the potential for some small craft issues out there. A small craft advisory in effect for the coasts of Delaware up through portions of New England, even some gale warnings along the coast of Maine, where there's going to be some pretty gusty winds along many of those coastal waters. Now we're going to move into the southeast, and again, that bubble of happiness there, the high pressure centered over a big chunk of the region. Some rainfall in southeastern Texas trying to sweep across the Louisiana border. Otherwise, not much going on for us. Looking fantastic, of course, for us in Tallahassee, as we've said a couple of times on today's show. Not much moisture at all in the upper levels. This big swath of these black and brown colors indicating very dry air aloft above about 15,000 feet. So not really anything that would support any sort of deep convection or heavy precipitation, which is a good thing, of course, because of all the rainfall we experienced last month. These river flood issues are still a concern, especially off to our west, and even including the Apalachicola River locally here. Now, if I step off to the side, you also see this sort of moderate blue shading in parts of Florida as well as southern Georgia. A frost advisory is in effect tonight, with those temperatures expected to dip down into the mid-30s for many of those locations. So now we'll look at the national picture once again and move our way into California, where a lot of the action is happening. A steady stream of rainfall moving into California and being pushed up the mountains here, where it's transitioned into snow. And it is a loaded potato right now for much of the Intermountain West as well as the coast of the Pacific Coast here. Winter weather advisory in these purple shadings, as well as an avalanche warning for portions of western Colorado. And if we move off towards California, 5 to 6 feet of snow in the forecast for some of these places just off to the west of the California-Nevada border. Shout out to Cassie, of course, working at National Weather Service Reno, doing a great job over there, as well as a high wind warning for areas just off to the west in north central California. Not really looking for too much of the precipitation there, with that drought not being a big concern in the hot spot there, but in the Four Corners, still an exceptional drought, needing all the precipitation that we can get there. We look at the storm outlook for Friday. This is a couple days from now. The potential for some severe weather is possible in portions of central and eastern Texas. As for tonight, though, conditions should be pretty calm for much of that state, with the rainfall continuing in central and southern California. Temperatures in the middle 50s, with the sunshine sticking around for the southeastern United States. Temperatures for Tallahassee, of course, climbing to 66 degrees tomorrow. For now, I'm going to take things back to the desk where Sloan and Michael are standing by.
As we just saw, California has a lot of warnings in effect, and they can expect another day of this weather happening in their region.
Yeah, and there were a lot of warnings. You saw Jake show basically a color book of warnings, and this is a long list, and these are only some of them. High wind warnings and rough surf along the coast, flood warnings down towards Southern California. We have to deal with mudslides with that. Up towards Sierra Nevada mountains, you have to deal with the heavy snow and blizzard-like conditions, as well as avalanches. That's just some of it.
A major concern with the flooding, though, is California did have a heavy wildfire this season due to their drier conditions. So areas like Paradise, where the campfire began, are really prone to flooding right now, and especially where that dry soil is. If they're on a hill, mudslides, they're prone to mudslides.
Yeah, mudslides is a big thing, and all those burn scars, as you mentioned, with Paradise. Now, the Central Valley, they're expecting 1 to 2 inches of rain, with the foothills having 2 to 4 inches of rain due to just the lift of the mountains, just enhancing the moisture.
Yep, and the areas that are impacted by the wildfires, they can expect 7 inches or more of rain, which is detrimental to them. So a lot of them are being evacuated right now. If you are going to be evacuated in the California region, follow your local National Weather Service or Emergency Management Office. Michael and Jake did a great segment on severe weather. So make sure you have all of their tools handy to ensure your safety.
Yeah, and especially down towards Southern California, the flooding is going to be even worse because just because the soil is so dry, and they are down towards Santa Barbara and Los Angeles. They are under a moderate risk for flash flooding these next few days, and just because they don't handle a lot of rainfall down there.
But speaking of rainfall, I'm going to take things off to the wall to talk about what is happening around the state of Florida. It's been a beautiful day, though, for much of the region. Temperatures are pretty favorable for this time of year. Some cloud cover here and there, but for the most part, sun was in the sky all day for much of the state. Dew points, we see that we're fairly dry as a state as well. That's due to that high pressure system again. We see South Florida does have a bit of a higher dew point, a little more moisture down there, but that's expected for them. Looking back at the national, we do see this high pressure we've been talking about, which are sort of driving these clouds a bit south here through South Florida to the end of the peninsula. Some showers off the coast, but not a lot other than that. Taking a look at South Florida, we do see that, again, these clouds are sort of lingering. They can expect them into the evening as well, but not heavy cloud cover, so the sun was able to shine through today. For tomorrow's forecast, very nice temperatures in the mid-70s. That's very comfortable for them. Clouds in sight, but with temperatures like that, you really can't complain. If we want to take a look at Central Florida for the most part, we do see they have those showers off the coast right now. The clouds are still moving through the region, but again, not a lot happening. It's going to clear up overnight, and especially into tomorrow, we can see the cloud cover is going to be a bit heavier the more south we go, but clearing up a bit with temperatures again in the 70s. For Northeast Florida, few pop-up showers here and there. Clear skies all day again today. Temperatures a bit cooler than what we've been seeing in South and Central Florida in the mid to upper 60s. But that's really nice for them as well this time of year. Not really true winter conditions. And at the Western Panhandle, again, sunny, not a lot happening. And temperatures are in the 60s tomorrow as well, with clouds coming into the picture as the high pressure leaves our region. Through the weekend, we see these showers come into play about Friday, and especially the heaviest coming Saturday afternoon. The rest of the state will be affected by Sunday. We can see there will probably be heavier showers once we get to Central and South Florida. So we can expect some thunderstorms with that, so make sure that you have that umbrella handy. But into Monday, we do see it clears up for the rest of the state as we cool off again. Tonight, temperatures are in the 30s for northern Florida, going into the 40s and 50s. And if we take a look at tomorrow, we see these temperatures again in the 60s and 70s for much of the state, with the cooler temperatures being up north by us. But the sun is in sight for the rest of the day tomorrow. For now, I'm going to pass things off to Michael to take it back home.
Yeah, thanks, Salona. And so when we take a look back locally, it was a tale of two stories today. In the morning, it was very chilly and cloudy. I honestly hated it. I was freezing the entire day. But then once we got into the afternoon, the sun came out, got up to 62 degrees, right around where we should be for this time of year at 63 degrees. But after that cold start, we will have to deal with that again tonight. But right now, 57 degrees, mostly clear skies. Thank God it's mostly clear skies and not cloudy skies, because that's honestly better for all of us. Winds are right now calm, so that will allow us to cool down very quickly going into nighttime hours. Now, across the national picture, we do have that front out towards the Midwest. Locally, though, we do have high pressure dominating the southeast, and that northerly wind is bringing that cooler air still here for us in Tallahassee. And once that high slides off to the east, that's when the winds will become southerly and the moisture will increase ahead of that system right now located in California. But for now, high pressure is still dominating, and we do not have any clouds in sight in our local region, and that's going to be the story for the rest of the nighttime hours. So enjoy it while you can. Current conditions right now across Tallahassee, 57 here in Tallahassee, 50 in Quincy, 46 in Thomasville, so they're the cool spot right now, and 51 in Valdosta, 52 in Apalachicola, all of us under clear skies. Dew points are still relatively low due to the northerly winds with high pressure still off towards our west. And you'll see that also by the winds. Winds are very northerly, but they're very light. And so we're going to cool down once again very quickly going into nighttime hours due to those light winds. So for tonight, we're expecting a low of 34 degrees. There might be some patchy frost like we dealt with like this morning. But the difference between this morning and tomorrow morning is it will be clear and not cloudy. So it'll feel a little bit nicer outside rather than this morning. And then going into your planner for tomorrow, you can see that cold start at 36 degrees at 8 a.m. Heating up rather quickly into the upper 50s, 59 degrees at noon, getting to around our high temperature of 64 at 4 p.m. and then cooling down once the sun sets very quickly at 51 degrees at 8 p.m. Now going into your high temperature for tomorrow, we're expecting 66 degrees with that chilly morning, heating up rather quickly with those abundant sun and the winds a little bit subtly at 5 miles per hour. If you want to head out down towards the coast, not a bad day actually, with the bays and seas very calm, and as well as the winds, and a little bit cooler down towards the coast at 63 degrees, but still sunny skies. And then going into your 7-day forecast, you can see temperatures do warm up ahead of that system still located in California. We will have to deal with the rain late Saturday and especially Saturday night. Sunday is going to be that day where we'll be at 59 degrees in the morning, cooling down into the low 30s Monday morning for your holiday weekend. And on Monday, that's going to be the coldest day of the week. But we will warm up ahead of that next storm system heading to us on Wednesday. But we're going to send it back to the desk with Sloan and Jake.
Thank you, Michael. And this is what I like about Tallahassee this time of year, that South Florida, where I usually live, doesn't really have to offer. There's something for everyone. And that 7-day really shows it better than any that I've really seen recently.
Yep, sort of reminded me of home when we get into the 30s a bit, but then by the end of the day, it feels like I'm back in Florida. So I get a taste of both worlds when I'm here.
Yeah, I guess that's the only inconvenience is the clothing choices between 8 a.m. and 3 p.m. around here. But we'll see some consistency the next couple of days once we start getting those low temperatures to climb back up. We were seeing those values in the 50s when we were working towards, say, Friday and Saturday nights around here.
Unfortunately, we do have that rain coming back into the picture, which is something us who have been back at school for about a week and a half now haven't really seen. So sort of getting back into that rain mentality, making sure we have that umbrella on hand and everything.
Yeah, same for me, even though ironically I was in Phoenix for a week and it rained like, what, 0.55 inches or something like that the first day I was there. So I was expecting, 70 degrees and sunshine every day. But yeah, we got rained on quite a bit those first couple of days. A bit of a weird experience there. But yeah, we'll see. Saturday night's really looking like the big rain chance before things really start to make that big cool down as that 7-day shows.
Yeah, as we can see, we do start to cool off after those rain showers pass through our area, back into the 50s on Monday, 30s as our low again, but right back at Tuesday, you're back in the 60s, and then Wednesday in the 70s with the rain returning. Yeah,
one thing I do appreciate about the season so far is the lack of freezes that we've seen, at least those big-time freezes where those temperatures dip back down into the 20s, so at least a nice consolation prize.
But be sure to follow us on Twitter at FSU Weather.
Yeah, and we're all over the rest of the social media spectrum. We're on Facebook at facebook.com/FSU Weather.
And if you want to watch us live on YouTube, and if you are now, thanks for viewing. But you can watch all of our old episodes on there.
And of course, we're on Instagram too. Don't forget to give the Instagram some love. We're there at, shockingly, FSU Weather. How about that?
But if you're going to be outside, we don't recommend it, and get great pictures of the storms that are rolling through the area, shelf clouds or anything like that, be sure to send them in and be featured. But for everybody at FSU Weather, I'm student meteorologist Sloan Haynes.
And I'm meteorologist Jay Carson. We want your sunset pictures too tomorrow. We'll see you guys tomorrow.